This movie has been sitting in my iMovie for nearly a year, but it is finally time to share it. Last summer, my husband Kyle and I took a trip to Montreal, Canada. Now we have made it in town just in time to see the Notre Dame Basilica and to experience this symphony of lights. It was breathtaking. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, I wasn't allowed to film the experience, so all of these shimmering images are everything that you're seeing before the experience. If you have a chance to see this live, I truly encourage everyone to go and see it. It was so mesmerizing. This is part 2 to our anniversary trip that we took last year to visit Quebec, Canada. My husband had gone here years before, and I absolutely fell in love with all of the pictures that he sent back home. So we made it a promise, made it a pact, and we saved our pennies and we made it here for our anniversary. This leg of the journey is certainly much more chill compared to the high energy of seeing the Formula One Grand Prix in Montreal, Quebec, but this was a beautiful experience nonetheless. We finished off the evening by finding a local eatery. It's called L'Original, and it was truly our safe place. I have some dietary restrictions needing to be gluten-free, and I survived off of their bison burger for 3 evenings. So every night after we would finish watching the Formula One races, we would come here for dinner and enjoy fine eating and delicious drinks. Day 1, the weather seemed promising. We completely knew that we were gambling with the weather booking to go see the Montreal Grand Prix. You can see every time you watch the race that it's usually always raining, so we came fully prepared with ponchos, and in our last video when we were in Old Quebec City, we actually bought some very luxurious raincoats also for this part of our journey. We came prepped also with umbrellas, and we were ready to enjoy the races. For our time at Formula One, Kyle booked us the F1 Experiences Champions Club block package. With that package, we got access to a covered grandstand with amazing track views, access to great food and comfortable seating to enjoy the race. It came with access to exclusive behind-the-scene areas, with even a chance to walk where the drivers actually walked. That was incredible. Though the rain did change our plans for a little bit, it actually worked out in our favor, and we were actually given an incredible pit tour where we could see all of the cars up close and personal. Now, while this was an incredible experience, I do want to highlight some things that didn't go quite as planned. Because if you are considering an F1 Champions Club package, these are some things you might want to know. First, I was told that in advance my dietary restrictions would be accommodated, but when I arrived, that wasn't actually the case. The chefs were just as surprised as I was, and while they did their best to pivot and make things work, it wasn't ideal. If I had known, I would have just planned differently, maybe brought my own snacks or grabbed something extra from the grocery store. But because I was assured everything would be taken care of, it really led me to have a false sense of security. Secondly, our grandstand was covered and had a great view. Seating, however, was first come, first serve. On Friday and Saturday, it wasn't too bad, but by race day, if you weren't there early enough, finding a good spot was tough. Some people would take up whole entire tables for small groups, and since there was no assigned seats, it became a bit of a scramble. The lounge area on the second floor was also oddly set up. Some of the couches faced the race, but others faced a small dividing wall that faced the bar, which didn't really make much sense. By the time the race started, we ended up just standing anyways, so in hindsight, I think I'd just prefer a regular grandstand seat the next time. And then there was this totally unexpected moment. I actually got elbowed in the head by accident by a very large, very drunk man. He didn't see me resting and sitting at the table, and while he did apologize, it did really hurt. I actually had to step away for a few moments and collect myself. It's probably one of those things that probably wouldn't have happened with assigned seating, but at the end of the day, it was just one of those festival crowd moments. All that to say, the experience was still overall really amazing. I mean, look at this lunch they threw together just to accommodate my dietary restrictions, above and beyond. I think F1 as a whole did a great job of keeping things tidy and the mud minimal, considering the amount of rain and people that they were dealing with. Our bathrooms were always impeccable, and I was chatted with multiple times asking about my experience, if I was comfortable, if I was having a good time. They truly wanted to make sure everyone was at ease and enjoying themselves. They even provided us with free blankets, ponchos, and ear protection. That being said, I am also very glad I did bring my pink ear protection. Those Porsches were incredibly loud. I had no idea. Their whine actually penetrated my little ear protection and my pink ear protection. They were so loud. It was so exhilarating. As you can see, I even have footage of those stinking little marmots causing mischief on the track. While they are super cute and it was really neat to see them, oh my stars, did they cause a ruckus at some points. Friends, we got to go behind the scenes for a paddock, pit, and track tour. It was absolutely incredible. Because the paddock tour kept getting pushed back and was actually right at the beginning of the race almost, they threw in the pit tour as kind of a consolation prize. And I don't think I'll ever get over being able to drive in the back of that tractor trailer, driving over all of those chicanes and straightaways. Just as the rain stopped and the sun shone through, for a very brief moment, I got to experience the same thing as some of our favorite drivers get to experience on a regular basis. And I couldn't have felt even more connected than I did in that moment. Montreal, a city that blends old world charm with modern vibrancy, where the energy of Formula One pulses through these streets every June. But this track is not without challenges. You'll see a picture of our grandstand on the corner of the Wall of Champions, just outside the final chicane. This wall has claimed some of the best in sport. It stands, a stark reminder that even the most seasoned driver needs to respect the circuit's demands. Over the decades, this circuit has played host to some of the greatest names in motorsport. Ayrton Senna, with his unmatched precision, mastered the track's technical turns. Michael Schumacher, the 7-time world champion, dominated here with a record 7 wins. And Lewis Hamilton, with his relentless skills, made his mark again and again.
What is your style of management?
Okay, we got it.
Oh, yeah? What's your name? Kyle.
In 1978, Canada was actually looking for its permanent home for its Grand Prix. Before then, races were actually held in Ontario and Quebec, but a true lasting circuit had yet to be found, yet to be established. Enter Isle Notre Dame, an artificial island on the St. Lawrence River created for Expo 67. With stunning surroundings and proximity to the city, it was the perfect location for a world-class racing venue. The first race in 1978 was a moment of pure magic. A determined Canadian driver by the name of Gilles Villeneuve crossed the finish line, securing his first ever Formula One victory right here on home soil. After his tragic passing in 1982, the track was renamed in his honor, becoming Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, a tribute to one of racing's most fearless and beloved figures. Today, the circuit remains a crown jewel of the Formula One calendar. A high-speed, high-stakes battle set against the breathtaking backdrop of Montreal.
Que Max Verstappen
And as the checkered flag waved and Max crossed the finish line, our grandstand erupted in celebration. Every guest was handed a bottle of champagne, a fun and fitting way to mark the moment. Despite the hiccups, it was such a unique way to experience Formula One, and I am so glad that Kyle and that we got to do it together. Take care, friend. Be well. You matter.